Mary said, thank you, Tim and team. Absolutely loved every minute. So inspired to take on new challenges and get more creative with everything. And Roshini said, thanks, Tim and your wonderful team. This was a wonderful conference. Had so much fun. Thank you for your hard work and support. So, and that's just a tiny sample of the feedback we've been getting, which just makes all the effort worthwhile, right, Laura?
Absolutely. And not just from the delegates. We were getting compliments from the speakers that were involved as well, how much they enjoyed being there because of the energy and the vibe. And it was different.
You're listening to the Topcast, the original podcast for growth-minded instrumental music and voice teachers since 2015, with your host, Tim Topham. Our mission at Top Music is to empower instrumental music and voice teachers to find and nurture their innate creativity so that they can teach lessons that are innovative, integrated, and inspiring, and that will have a positive, lifelong impact on their students. Join us each week as we interview teachers and creators from around the world and unpack fun and exciting ideas to maximize your teaching and studio business success. G'day, all you wonderful teachers out there. This is Tim, and you're listening to the Topcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am still on a high from Top Music Live, which was now a week ago. I can't believe a week has gone by that quickly. And so I thought I'd spend this episode just chatting through how things went, what happened, some of the highlights, and to let you know how you can tune in to the replays of the entire event if you weren't lucky enough to be there. My guest today is our event coordinator, the amazing Laura Kahar. She doesn't just teach music, she redefines how it's experienced. She's the founder of Music and Me in Sydney, Australia, and she brings over 20 years of music education to designing creative, connected music learning ecosystems. She trains educators globally and consults across studios and early childhood centres, shifting how music is taught and creating learning that truly connects. When not immersed in music education, you'll find her chasing waves around the world and adventuring through life with her son and organising some pretty epic events like Top Music Live. Before I bring Laura in, I just want to mention that your access to the Top Music Live replay pass, which is called our on-demand pass, is now available at topmusic.co/on-demand. And we are currently in the process of editing all of the presentations. So we had 3 cameras in the room, microphones galore. We had every sort of audio system running that we could to make this as clear as possible. So it is incredibly professional. I've seen the first 2 presentations, our keynote, wonderful Mark Matthews giving his workshop on the blues. I've seen the recordings already and they are phenomenal. You are going to be absolutely blown away by the quality of these. It will be like you are in the room because you'll get to see not only what's happening on stage and the keynotes, the slides, you'll also get to see the audience reactions. You'll get to see them asking the questions. You'll get to see them doing whatever activities are being asked of them by the people on the stage. And there was a lot of movement and singing and dancing and clapping and just having an amazing time. So you'll see all of that. You'll also get a chance to see our workshops, our awards, and some of the smaller things, the presentations that went on the stage during and between these main workshops and presentations. So let me introduce Laura into the conversation so that we can get started. And what we're going to do is just go through the 2 days and have a bit of a chat about some of our favourite memories and why you should definitely grab your chance to get this pass while we're editing it. So we're editing it at the moment. It's going to take a week or so more. Once that's live, we will launch the on-demand pass at full price. So the full price is $149. If you get the pre-sale right now at topmusic.co/on-demand, then it's just $99. And I'll remind you again of the link at the end. But let's jump in and have a chat with Laura. Well, welcome to the show, Laura Kahar. Great to be spending a little bit of time with you to chat about Top Music Live.
Thanks for having me. It's so exciting to be here. It's been a while.
I feel like
on this medium.
We have been connected, though, very closely for the last 3 months as we've put together Top Music Live. Could you give as the event manager and the event coordinator and my right-hand woman, what would be your one word to describe the whole thing looking back on it?
Oh, exhilarating.
Oh, exhilarating. Nice. I like it. And I know how much value you got out of helping put it on, and I could not have done it without you. We were just talking before I hit record that Laura here is the reason this went ahead, honestly, because she kept nudging me and saying, Tim, you got to do this. I'm ready. I'm going to be there to help you. Let's do it. And I was on the fence, and then that just pushed me over. And I'm so glad, looking back, I am so glad we did it because it really was an amazing event. And so I thought we'd spend a little bit of time today just going through some of our highlights, a few of the sessions, and just having a little general chat. Does that sound all right?
Fantastic.
All right. So let's kick things off. Before the first session, one of the things that I love doing differently is registration. So what's one of the big differences that you've seen between how we do that whole registration process and the bags and the tags and everything to other conferences around?
Well, definitely when you walk in, our table is so colourful with these gorgeous name tags, which I luckily got to somehow. So I think, the little details that you put into the conference like that is so special. And then you walk through, you're greeted by your wonderful team. And then we have these amazing bags that BenQ sponsored this year with the cool black bags. And of course, all the inserts and our fantastic booklet, which turned out so good from your design cover.
Well,
we worked hard on that.
Congratulations to you for putting that together at the last minute.
But the cover was your design, so you should take that. And that was your vision. And then you greeted, and the venue was also beautiful. I think this, just as soon as you walk in, the moment that you walk in, it was just, I'm home. Like, I need to be there.
Yeah, and I'm with my people. Yeah. And in fact, Donna on our team was talking at our power hour just before about how she was only at another event a few weeks before in Melbourne. And it was a great event, good speakers, but she just didn't feel like it was her group. And here she felt really at home. And I think we all did. And it was coming home for some of us because there were quite a few people there at Piano Pivot Live, the last event I did in Melbourne in 2020. And so it was a big reunion, really, because we hadn't seen each other for quite some time. So that was great. People came in, they had coffee, tea, it was all ready. And then we opened the doors and we let everyone in. Music was on. The vibe was great. It looked amazing.
It was.
Couldn't have asked for a better venue.
And I think what made it really special as well, that you stood at registration table and you greeted everybody. And you can see everybody's just hugging each other. It was really like, I'm home. I've come home after this big journey. Maybe the last time they saw each other was Piano Pivot. And yeah, everybody just felt like they were already connected. So I think that made it really, really special.
So we kicked things off with, I did a bit of an intro and then we introduced Anita Collins. I was so happy that Dr. Anita Collins was happy to be our keynote speaker. Everyone talked about it. In fact, I spoke to one delegate who came up to me and said, you know what, Tim? This was at morning break. She said, if I left now, I would feel I've got value from this conference. And she'd only had two speakers. Yeah. So she'd seen it. Dr. Anita Collins and then Mark Matthews on the piano playing the blues and getting people up. That was cool too. So give me your thoughts on those first couple of sessions.
Oh, look, I love Dr. Anita Collins. I've been following her work since the first time I came across her TED Talk. And I even did one of her courses back in the days, and this was before COVID. So, having her live on stage again, it was just priceless. Her insight, and I think even just the way she speaks, I feel like it's like catching up with another mum at school. And she just talks. Yeah, it's just like an easy conversation. And she doesn't feel intimidating, even though she's just so brilliantly smart. And when she puts her ideas to you in a way that you really can understand and relate to, I think that's her magic. And Mark Matthews, God bless Mark Matthews.
Isn't he fantastic?
I was dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just has.
Do you know how many shirts he had on the...
Mark Matthews, for those of you who haven't met him, is known for
like
his
an onion.
Piano and music shirts, and they are loud, but they suit him so well. So Mark was doing this. I mean, the blues was only part of it. Like, there was something just magical about how he engaged us. We were doing these hand stretches. We were reciting Swahili or something. What was that language he taught us?
Yeah.
Africa. It's like, how cool is this? And we were humming along. We were singing. We were chanting. And he got someone up from the audience, Mary, to do some blues. The music was cool. Oh, my goodness. Kudos to MJ Ash, one of our members, who had seen Mark give this presentation previously. And she said, Tim, you have to get him to Top Music Live. So, Mary, we have you to thank very much for the nudge along there. And Mark, if you're listening, thank you so much. That was just literally magic. And I'm so glad we captured all of this on multiple cameras, all the audio, the audience reaction. It's all on video. We're going to be talking about our on-demand pass a bit later on. Everyone can grab this. You can see what Mark did, what Anita said in the on-demand access pass. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So we have morning tea then. Oh, let's just talk catering for a second, because oftentimes one of the big feedback points after conferences is the catering. There's always a problem with the catering. This time I have to say people were complimenting me, which is pretty unheard of.
I know. I definitely was feeling very anxious. I think that was the thing that I felt anxious about. I think food's a special thing. It's another form of connection. And of course, when you're hosting, you want to always service well. And the food was delicious. There was so much of it. And they were so accommodating and wonderful to everybody who had dietary requirements. And even the menu that we chose that were gluten-free or vegetarian, it was as delicious as the one that was meat. So yeah, hats off to Rosalind Packard Theatre for their catering service. And the people that were organized, the team from the catering team, they were just so amazing to work with, right? Alex, for the 2 days, he ran around for us.
Yeah. And I think this is another point of difference where I am prepared to commit to quality catering. It's expensive. For those who don't know about the costs of just the catering for an event like this, you're looking at about $14,000 for the 2 days. That's to feed 100 people, three sessions. And I'm happy to share that because I think people will go, holy moly, that is a lot of money. And it is. But you know what? It sets us apart from other events because we're prepared to sort of invest in that. And I know how important that is for people. And there was fruit every session. There was some fruit because I know that was some feedback I've got before.
We made sure.
Always fruit. All right. So morning tea, we don't need to talk about that. Let's just go on quickly to our next session. So Beck Stewart, who's also on our team, incredibly experienced teacher, she did these 3 jam sessions, which were really group ideas for group improv when you're a solo teacher, and how you could get a few kids at a piano maybe once a month or once a term to do some fun jam stuff, jamming on the piano, and how important that is for social contact and community building as well. What did you pick up from any one of her sessions, Laura? What did you think?
Beck was my biggest surprise, and I don't know why, because I know she's brilliant, but I was in awe when I watched her because I also teach in groups, and group and community and collaborative learning is a huge ethos in our school. So her sessions were just amazing, but just the way she held the crowd as well. You walk in, the first thing you hear is Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi.
That was unexpected, I'll say.
Am I in a football? Am I at a football game? Good old Beck bringing the country, the true Aussie country spirit. And as soon as you get that, it's like, right, connect, everybody's on. Ostinato is the word that's in my head from her session because she really, really explains that. And she made it very approachable, very, very simple for teachers to do. She showed us her part, which was an easy accompaniment for teachers to do. And I think you probably could give those accompaniment parts to older students as well, or more advanced, intermediate to advanced students. And I love her cards, how she gave little cards just to help students improvise as a guide so that, they're not lost and there's something there. And I think that's really, really important because the biggest fear for improvisation for students is what do I do? Oh, what do I do? So yeah, I think that was a really, really great thing.
And great to keep in mind 2 different styles of learning. People like visual, some people like oral, auditory, kinesthetic, all those different things. So having multiple ways to engage, I think is really powerful. Yeah, I really love the simplicity of what she does. She makes it look easy and she makes it look really achievable for any teacher. And it was great to see teachers getting up on stage and joining in. And all of that, again, it's on video footage. Come and check it out. You can get access to it. The next session was from me. I was talking about cracking the code, studio business lessons from my chiropractor. which was really just me sharing what I had observed outside of the music industry, because I've done this a lot and I've learned a lot from looking outside the industry and then bringing it into music teaching. What I learned from this really clever, savvy chiropractor and marketer and bringing some of those ideas to music teachers. I'm not sure if you were sitting in on that session, but did you get a takeaway from that?
Yeah, hugely. The video. I straight away messaged Grace.
Tell people what that's about.
Yeah. So after the session that you had, they gave you an iPad, and it was a video which outlined his philosophy, how he runs his business, how he started, I guess his story. And we all want to know the story, right? I remember seeing that straight away. I grabbed my phone and I messaged Grace, who was also a team member of mine that was also at the conference. And I said, we have to do this. One, it saves time, and it saves me time to tell my story over and over again. But also I think it's a nice way to just allow the parents to just still be there in the environment and just reconnect again by hearing your story. So I thought that was really, really, really cool.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's the one that most people take away from that, because I've given that presentation a few times, and that's the big one. Everyone goes, oh, why don't I do that? Why haven't I thought of that before? So yes, if you're wondering exactly how that works and you want the script for that and all my help with it, then again, you'll get that as part of the on-demand pass. Next session, we had Bradley Eustace from AGMS, one of our sponsors, ripping up the onstage piano. Oh my goodness, this guy can play. And he demonstrated pieces, as did Helen as well. One of the other team members demonstrated a variety of pieces from their new Piano Odyssey books, right up to grade 8 with the backing tracks. And yeah, that was pretty phenomenal, wasn't it?
It was. And I was very surprised at how beautiful the collections were and how modern they are as well. We actually bought a set for our studio just to, give variety. But yeah, some of the pieces, I think it was Gaelic Blessing. Oh, that was just beautiful. It was in the grade 4 piece. But yeah, so another surprise, actually. So I think that's what it was. The event was just a surprise after a surprise.
And for those listening from overseas, AGMS, the Australian Guild of Music and Speech, is one of our exam boards. And that's what the music was from. So then we had some lunch, which was pretty good. And then after lunch, I was very excited to welcome back to the stage for the first time in 10 years, Elisa Milne, who I would hope is known internationally, but she is certainly very well known in Australia as one of our most favoured composers. I guess she's a composer of many, many pieces and many books, but she hasn't been on stage for quite some time. What did you think of seeing Elisa back?
You can't put it into words, really. And I think I also know Elisa outside, of all this, because her mum was my son's first piano teacher. So it was really nice to catch up. But Elisa's Elisa, she's just natural. She's just magic. She got on stage. She's playing K-pop. I was like, you rock, Elisa. You've been away for 10 years, but you can still keep up, BTS. You'll see that.
I didn't know what she was talking about there. Even I was out of that picture. I'm so glad she made the commitment to come along, and she's told me subsequently that she really enjoyed the experience, and it may well have nudged her back into doing a little bit more of this when the time's right. So I'm really excited by that. Now, then we had our masterminds. Now, these are something that are really unique to our events, which I'm really excited by. So the masterminds, and I think this speaks to also one of the main changes we make to the setup of the room, is that people are not in lecture-style classroom seating in rows. No, thank you. We're at tables. We're at round tables with space on the front so that people don't have to always turn around to look at the stage, which I think is important. So they're on round tables, and during the masterminds, do you want to explain what happens during these mastermind sessions?
Yeah, absolutely. 15 minutes going around, and you sit with the speakers during the day to get a deeper insight and ask questions personally. That session. It's so powerful. And I love also how the speakers did share their insight, but also ask others on the table to share as well.
Which is the point of that mastermind.
So it really becomes yeah, it really becomes a round talk. But went by so quick. It was like, yeah. I definitely, and I think that's your point of difference. I mean, I've attended so many conferences, but never really a mastermind like that. That was a whole new experience for me. And even though I had to be at work, I was still floating myself around, trying to listen in.
So we did 3 of these 15-minute rotations. So, yeah, you could choose a table. So all the speakers sat at a particular table, and then you could go and sit with them for 15 minutes and then rotate and just get that chance to ask questions. It's only possible because of the generosity of the speakers that we invite that will stay there the whole day. And so our speakers are there for the day. You can hang out with them. You should talk to them at lunchtime, at morning tea, all those times, and at these masterminds. And I think that's really powerful too. I'm really thankful for the speakers for doing that. So we had afternoon tea after that, and then Beck did another jam session, which was also very cool. And we finished the day with Paul Myatt. I think, was this the scarf when he had scarves that end of the first day?
Yeah,
oh my goodness. Wait till you see the video of this session. I have never seen a group of adults enjoying being like children and just having an absolute blast. You could not have wiped the smiles off people's faces doing this. I don't know if you got a chance. I don't know if you were actually doing it or you were just watching. I was just watching, and it was amazing to see. Paul is an incredible speaker.
Absolutely agree with that. Yeah. And just his energy as well. And his way of facilitating. Yeah, it's on all the time.
And so he was talking about using music to teach music, which sounds circular or a bit weird, but it will make sense when you watch the replay. It's really all about making sure the music's in the student's body through music before they start trying to read and play the piece. And he's got lots of examples of how that works, and he got all of us up and doing it, which was great fun. So that was day one. That night, of course, you put together a most amazing 10th birthday dinner for me, really. I mean, you blew me away with the venue you chose. I know you enjoyed going around Sydney, trying all these different restaurants.
Eating my way around Sydney.
That's right. Sydney, of course, is Laura's hometown, so she was the person best suited to choosing this venue. But anyway, we chose this venue. I think it was recommended by one of our other speakers, Amber Hammond, wasn't it?
It was.
Fantastic Lebanese food in the rocks. Couldn't have chosen a better location, and we had about 50 of our speakers, delegates, exhibitors, sponsors there. One of your team members was playing guitar and singing on entry. That was beautiful. We sat down to dinner. I gave a bit of a speech and some history of the Top Music story, which most people probably hadn't heard in detail. We also awarded our 10-year pros. So this was for 2 members who've been with us for 10 years. There are actually 32 people who joined Top Music Pro membership in 2016. And we were lucky that two of them were there. So the rest of them are going to get their certificates in the mail. But that was really special too. And then do you want to tell what you showed after the main course?
So after the main course, we secretly put together a video of testimonials for people who have worked with you over the last 10 years and who has been touched by you. And of course, I had to put some bloopers in there as well. So that was really fun to do with Christian. And then we had cake, and then it
was magic. It was such a great occasion. I won't forget it. And thank you so much for putting that together. Thank you to everyone who came, who was listening as well. It was good fun. I don't normally do birthdays. I'm a really low-key birthday person, so that was special. Yeah. All right, let's get on to day 2. We had a warm-up. Paul Myatt was back on stage, actually, to warm everybody up. The clapping, tapping, again.
The burger. The burger, the sushi burger.
Yes, you'll see it in the promo videos, actually, of the people doing these weird hand movements together and stuff. That was just such a great way to warm up. He's just brilliant at doing that. We also heard from our sponsors as well that morning, so that was great. And then we went straight into Amber Hammond. Tell us, what did Amber do, and who is Amber?
Amber is a phenomenal teacher, a phenomenal human, actually. She is. How do you describe Amber?
I don't even know. That's why I asked you.
Yeah,
she's an enigma.
Because perfect word for it. She has a stunning music school right in the Sydney CBD called Elite Piano School. And she teaches students of higher caliber, high talent, but not just that, extremely hard-working students. She has a beautiful community. I know this because I am actually one of her parents. My son attends lessons with her, actually because throughout this whole Top Music. But she's just a very, very special person. And she brings to the industry a different perspective. You know, we think developing young players at such a high standard is, you know, easy, but it's not. Her kids work. And the way she does it, first and foremost, is technique. That was clear from day dot. Every student who showed us their demonstration, the first thing she made them do was scales and Hannons, scales and Hannons. And I'm experiencing that in my house because that's all I hear every morning, scales and Hannons. But she has this energy that makes her students want to be great. Not because she's strict or pushy or anything like that, but in her own magic, her students just, they get on board and they do the work.
And they work really hard for her, yeah. So we were privileged enough to see her teach live 3 students, a beginner, an intermediate and an advanced student, and then hear how she does what she does. And what she does really is, I mean, she teaches the 1%ers almost. I think it's probably almost that small a percentage of our students. But it's great to see what can be done when you have students who will practice for 2 hours a day and who are incredibly committed and passionate about it. And so we got to see these kids on stage. One of them just took the mic and just, he was off. He was awesome. He was an absolute natural just behind the microphone. You'll get to see that on the videos too. And then you'll get to see what she actually does with her students and how she achieves these milestones of sort of grade 0 to 8 in a few years. Extraordinary. Anyway, so yeah, that's all on there. So after that, what did we do next? We had, I introduced the Rock School syllabus. So Rock School has come out with a new piano syllabus. So this is a global industry recognized exam board, and they've just brought out these new pieces. So I was at the piano jamming along to their backing tracks, which are super cool, including pop songs with the vocalists. People seem to enjoy that because I got lots of questions at that afternoon mastermind about it. So that was great. And then we had a session because the AMEB was supporting a number of scholarships for teachers to attend from regional areas. We got a chance to congratulate them, get some photos. They drew some prizes, and also Amber came back on stage to play, wasn't that beautiful, a couple of pieces from the AMEB's new Series 19 books. That was it was stunning hearing her perform. I mean, she's an incredibly world-class, talented performer.
And in the pieces from the new AMEB syllabus, what I love about it is that the amount of women composers that they've included in the syllabus and the pieces that she chose to perform was stunning.
So then we had a morning tea break. After that, we had our second keynote of the event, Samantha Coates. I couldn't run an event in Sydney, or just an event generally, without Samantha. She was there in 2020 as well. She is one of the best speakers I know of, and she was talking about staying ahead of student distraction. She had a stage full of props, drums, boom whackers. It was very cool to see, and lots of teachers coming up and just enjoying the topic, which really was all about what to do to keep students engaged and break up a lesson by getting them off the bench and doing fun stuff. Is that what you took away from it?
Absolutely, yeah. Just the off-bench activities that really relates to the playing and getting them to reset and come back again. I love her, I think it was called Swish Slosh, but her ideas are just always original. And yeah, and the way Sam presents and explains, you can't fault Samantha Coates. Yeah.
And the
stage is just where she's born to be.
That's right. And I'd heard about boom whackers before, but I'd never really seen them in action or known what to do with them. So if you've heard of boom whackers and gone, what is that? Then you'll be able to watch what she does with them in this session. It's not what I thought it was going to be, actually. So that was very cool. Thank you so much, Samantha, for coming along to that. Then Jam session number 3 happened. Beck Stewart was back on stage. And then you guys had organised something which blew me away and then had me in tears on stage. Absolute magic. I don't want to give it all away, but
No,
I think you just have to see the recording.
A little bit.
What do you want to say? What should we tell people?
Oh, where should we at? Well, it was a beautiful surprise to something that you had created that, how do you put it? That
you'd secretly told all the delegates about without me knowing, which was very clever. And got them to practice something as well. And that's...
Beck was phenomenal. She did it all. It was all her idea. And we had to somehow send it out to the delegates, got them to practice and join in. And I just loved, because I was outside and I walked in and was seeing your face look so lost.
I'm like, what is
going on here? And I think you were reading it, but then the music clicked and you were kind of like, I know this tune, but these aren't the words and these are my words. So your face trying to put two and two together, that was priceless.
And then Beck coming up on stage with Linda Irvin, one of my 10-year pros, came up on the stage, and that's when I kind of lost it and needed to ask people for tissues because they gave me an award, which is up on the right behind me if you're watching the video over there, which was incredibly touching. Oh, and a bottle of gin, which was great. they know me too well.
You have me to thank for that.
So that was wonderful. That was really, really touching. But I had to compose myself because I then had another little session. We brought on stage, last year we had a composition competition with our members. And I brought on stage two of the teachers who had winning student entries in that. And we played their student parts. We heard a little bit about the kind of composing they do in their lessons. And that was magic. So yeah, thanks to Mary and Devi who came up on stage, and we're happy to do that. And we will be running a composition competition again this year. And I think we may even be opening it up to non-members, so just the whole Top Music world. So stay tuned for that. And we'll be sharing clips from that video as we put that together later this year. All right, we had lunch, and then we had your session after lunch. And you bought so many. I mean, talk about Sam Coates having props. You had drums and rubber pad things. And anyway, tell us, you were talking about the power of teaching the youngest students, which is your passion by far. And every time I see your Instagram, you're in a room with 2 or 3 little kids having an absolute blast, doing fun musical things, but you're not sitting at the piano reading, you're doing just musical stuff. So do you want to give us just the really quick overview of your conversation so that people can check that recording out as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So my talk was just to expose our industry on how easy it actually is to start teaching the under 5s. And if we take away our expectations, I guess. And the most important thing is just to create a musical playground for this age group. And it goes from there. And it opens doors to so many things, especially for your studio, how it can create business and pipelines and community and so on and so on. So it's another world.
Yeah, but you made it really accessible, and you literally built a playground in the... Laura moved the tables so that she had a dance floor right in the middle of the room, and she set up her playground right there. It was great.
I did. I saw the stage and I was going, I'm going to fall off. There's not enough space. So how am I going to do this? So I had to work. Luckily, I could. Yeah. Luckily, like I said, the venue people were amazing, and they created my little playground.
No, it was really nice, actually. It was kind of in the round from then on because we didn't move anything back. So we were presenting from the middle of the room. It was great. So after that, we went into our second mastermind. Same kind of idea as yesterday. Speakers at round tables and everyone getting a chance to have a chat with them. So that was magic again. And my goodness, Amber's table, she had some of her kids there too. And there was standing room only there while people were asking her questions. So that was just magic. And then just before afternoon tea, we welcomed Samantha Coates back because she was celebrating the 25th birthday of Blitz Books. And she gave a little presentation showing her journey from the first ever publication she put out. Did you enjoy that? I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
Really good to see.
And you forget the journey because you see how successful Blitz is and what impact it's done to our industry. But yeah, it was beautiful.
Great to see. We all start with one book, somewhere along the line, right? And that was great. And then Samantha treated all of our delegates to a birthday cake. So we all shared in the 25th Blitz Books birthday cake, which was great fun too. And then last session of the entire conference, and one of the most powerful, I think, and another thing I should say that sets us apart is we give delegates time to plan how they're going to use what they've learned in their studios. Because I don't know how many times I go to conferences, get all these ideas, get completely overwhelmed, have a great time. It's super fun, and then don't really make any changes. So I never want that to happen at Top Music Live. So we actually share a process. We give people 2 pages of the booklet, and you also get access to the booklet when you get your on-demand pass too, so you can see these implementation pages. 2 ideas of ways that you could plan an implementation, or you could just use this time for your own planning to decide what you do. So I think that's another really powerful and important part of conferences. Have you had that experience as well, going to conferences and just not working out what you're going to do?
Yeah. You take away so much, and 2 days is a lot, especially with the lineup that we had.
It was packed.
It was. I died on Friday, so, it was. But I think that was really, really, really powerful. And what I loved about it as well was people had the courage to share
at the
what
end,
they
yes.
wrote. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I think when you share, you become more accountable because you've said it out loud. So, yeah. So I think when you said, no, we must have the session, I was like, okay. So I'm glad that, you start with that.
Because it's a bit of a funny one, because we kind of end the conference with a quiet work session, basically, after all this powwow and excitement and jumping around. But it's so powerful and so important, I think. And that wrapped it up. It was a really powerful couple of days, and I was just having a look at some of the feedback. Mary said, just like Piano Pivot Live, she was one of the people that came then, full of fun, connection, and the best ideas to take away and actually use. Devi said, it's amazing, Tim. Thanks to you and all of your amazing team. I hope you can now get some rest. We did. Superb job in so many ways. Brilliantly delivered, said Alison. Mary said, thank you, Tim and team. Absolutely loved every minute. So inspired to take on new challenges and get more creative with everything. And Roshini said, thanks, Tim, and your wonderful team. This was a wonderful conference. Had so much fun. Thank you for your hard work and support. So, and that's just a tiny sample of the feedback we've been getting, which just makes all the effort worthwhile, right, Laura?
Absolutely. And not just from the delegates. We were getting compliments from the speakers that were involved as well, how much they enjoyed being there because of the energy and the vibe. And it was different, it was different. Yeah.
Yep. And sponsors often tell me this is a conference like we have never been to before. And just because of the different type of person, the style, the vibe, the energy. So, yeah, all of that means a lot to me as the organizer. So, yeah, really happy with how it all went. Laura, thank you so much. Could not have done it, would not have done it without you, and could not have done it without you. I really appreciate the hours and hours you've spent.
Thank you for the opportunity, because it was such an incredible experience, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. And I'm so glad you did it.
Well, me too.
Yeah, definitely the ultimate conference of 2026.
Yeah, 100%. So we will actually, if you want to come along and you're interested in another one, you better start sending your email, because we are thinking, should we do one next year? It's kind of tempting. So yes, let us know if you would like that.
Yeah, and maybe you can give suggestion where as well. Where in the world? That would be fun.
Although Sydney, oh my goodness, there's something about Sydney. And I know that if we there's lots of people listening in America, and there's lots of people I spoke to in America who would love an excuse to come to Australia. They've just been waiting for an excuse. So we could do another one in Australia, and I think we could get some great names coming over from the USA. It should be fun.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal.
Anyway, that's all down the track. Not planned yet. But in the meantime, please head over to our website, topmusic.co/on-demand, and grab your replay pass. We're currently on pre-sale. So the price when we go live, because we're having all the videos edited at the moment, it takes quite a while. It takes a couple of weeks. for the team to edit everything because they're mixing in multiple cameras, audio, PowerPoints, etc. While it's being edited, we're on pre-sale at $99 instead of $149. These are US dollars. So grab it now while it's on pre-sale. It's going to be the best price, and you will get access to all of these sessions that we've just talked about today, plus a conference booklet for your reference. Anything I've missed, Laura? You don't get to eat the great food.
Gold. No. You just have to imagine it.
You have to come. That's why you have to come live, right?
That's right. Yeah. And the on-demand is it's pure gold at your own time, at the comfort of your home, at your own time, where you can pause, replay and replay, because you will want to replay and replay. And I can't wait to do the same.
Did you see the message from Georgina today? So Georgina's on our team. She helps with our social media and writing our emails. And she said, because I asked her yesterday, could you just watch Mark Matthews' presentation and just, find a little clip that we can share with people? She said, an hour later, I was at the piano with my iPad. I was trying out all these ideas. I was off to buy this. And then she suddenly realized, wait, what did I was actually meant to be doing something here. She got completely mesmerized by Mark's presentation. And I think that's a real tribute to, one, the presenter that he is, but two, the fact that this is what the experience will be when you grab your on-demand pass. So topmusic.co/on-demand, grab it now. It will be available once it goes live as well, but it will just be a little bit more expensive. So you do have time to think about it. No pressure.
Grab it.
Grab it. All right, Laura, thank you so much. Big hugs from here in Melbourne, and we will keep in touch.
Definitely. See you guys.
Well, I hope you enjoyed meeting Laura and having that chat. If you were at the event, then you will have already met Laura, because she gave one of the presentations, as you've just heard, and she was in and out, running around, making sure everyone was happy, everyone was fed, watered, and the sponsors, the exhibitors were happy as well. She was an incredible asset to this event, and I know that when we run this one next, she's going to be there again helping out, because she's just phenomenal. So thank you, Laura. It was an absolute pleasure working with you, and I know all of the delegates thank you as well. And I know that everyone who's getting the on-demand pass is going to be thanking you too, because you are going to be feeling like you were in the room, literally. The multi-camera angles, the PowerPoints, you'll also get a copy of the booklet. So it'll really feel like you're there, but in fact, it'll almost be better, because you'll be able to stop and start, take notes, do it in your pajamas, not have to get a hotel, all of those great things. And you'll have access for a year to explore and learn from these incredible speakers. The lineup could not have been better. I don't know how I'm going to improve this actually for my next event. I don't know how I could possibly get a better lineup than this. I think probably the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to bring some people in from overseas, and that's definitely on my plan for the next event. When is the next event? Everyone's asking me. I'm not too sure yet. Stay tuned. We'll have more details about that soon. In the meantime, check out the on-demand pass, topmusic.co/on-demand. Grab it while it is $50 off until we have finished all the editing and we go live. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll speak to you next time. How do you keep up to date with all the latest trends and research into music education? How do you connect with other teachers around the world and make sure your teaching stays fresh and relevant for students of all ages and stages, both now and into the future? I created our Top Music Pro membership to be the one-stop shop for music teaching resources, training, support, and community, and I'd love for you to come and join us inside. With over 40 comprehensive training courses, hundreds of teaching demonstrations and lesson plans, free monthly sheet music, discounts, and all the business and pedagogy support you could ever need, Top Music Pro is the community you've been looking for. If you're ready to level up your learning from the podcast and join thousands of other teachers in our global network, head over to topmusicpro.com today. If you enjoy this show and want to hear more of our work, be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening today. For links and resources mentioned in this episode, visit us at topmusic.co/podcast or check out the show notes. I'm Tim Topham. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy your week ahead, and I'll catch you next time.